But like really, really like things that like, a younger self 3 years ago would be like flying to do those things. I've learned to say no that I never experienced before COVID.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Law of Attraction podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Graziano, and this is brought to you by Success Magazine. We are so excited today. We are in Vegas with a very special friend of mine, somebody who I don't think needs a bio, so I'm just not gonna do one. He's the #1 DJ in the fucking world. He is so amazing. He's Grammy nominated numerous times. He's somebody who has inspired me and so many people all over the world. Welcome to the stage. Well, thank you for having me in your amazing playhouse again, Steve Aoki.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Cool. I'm so happy to be here. This is so fun. I'm gonna do a tour for you guys and like show you around how dope this crib is. It's so fun. There's a trampoline. I like bouncing.
Yeah.
It's always so fun, and your studio is amazing. Is that where you make all your magic?
Yeah. I mean, that's what pays the bills pretty much. But I mean, it's been an evolution for sure. From day one, my first studio was just like my office, small little office room. And then I remember taking over this flower shop and turned the refrigerator into an actual studio and like put, all that you need to acoustically tune it. I mean, I've had so many different rooms. I mean, the air, like sitting on an airplane with headphones and your computer is a studio now. So it's just like the way in which to make music has changed so much over time, and it's become more mobile, easier, more versatile. And I was just in here boxing up vinyl and recording the sound of the tape over the box. Because the sound was so cool.
That's so dope. I want to hear it.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be good for for some effect. So like anything, especially like touring too. Like wherever I'm at around the world, if I have a couple days, I'll go in on a studio and then try to find local artists to work with, and that's what's helped create the global sound that I have. Is being able to work with so many different kinds of artists from around the world, be able to be more fluid in the production sense, to expand and like learn different cultures and learn from other artists and different producers. And it's definitely expanded my reach for sure.
It's so beautiful. But that's what's so nice about your music, is that it's so eclectic and it's so like all the different sounds. I can now see that, and the cultural thing. And my son, who's 6 years old, by the way, you guys, is like his biggest fan. He goes around singing Movie Star. You know your song Movie Star?
Yeah.
That's his favorite song.
That's so
he knows
cool.
all the lyrics. And I'm like, it's so fast. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. 1, 2, 3. He's so cute. He loves it. It's like, he's like, play Movie Star as soon as we're in the car. And he's like, turn it up.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
His actual favorite music is the kind of like, I don't know what your genre is, but the genre of like boom boom, like basically
electronic dance.
That's his vibe, because when he's playing Pokemon and when he's playing all these games, the music is that vibe in the background. So your music's transcending across.
It's definitely like it's generational. It's also, it doesn't have a language.
Yes.
So that's the other way that I'm able to tour around the world as an artist, is that people are connecting to the beat or the melody of the actual music. So like when like some of my biggest songs is just like humming the melody, and so anyone could do that. It doesn't matter if you only speak Japanese or you only speak German or whatever, English or Spanish. It's like they're just coming to just jump and dance and that's like a universal thing.
Wow.
So I can see a kid like bobbing you know, to like some banger EDM songs, you know.
Yeah, that's it. He even says EDM. That's really funny.
Yeah.
No, I love it. Okay, so I'm understanding the music, but you're so multi-talented. You're so multifaceted. You do MetaZoo. Tell us about MetaZoo.
So yeah, during COVID, I experimented a lot with my music, but also in business, and I'm definitely a serial entrepreneur. I'm like always looking at different. Best way for me to put it is like I started a label 27 years ago called Dimmock, and I learned how to be an A&R. And an A&R is you find new artists. Like you see something developing, you're like, okay, I want to invest time into this artist and help them grow because there's something special. Well, just by the pure like kind of practice of doing that with music, I started applying that in business and in different industries that really excited me. And during COVID, fast forward, during COVID, I had all this time. I was stuck at home, and I got really into what I used to do, nostalgia. So I got really into what I used to do as a kid, is like open up packs and get like cool, like, you know, try to get like the rare baseball cards, football cards, you know, whatever. And then I got into Pokemon. And then, now I have money. And as a kid, you didn't have money. So as a kid, you could like afford like a pack for like $5. Now I'm like, I have money. I could buy the most expensive one. And like, I just act like a kid going, hey, if you had the money, would you get that? Now I could do that.
Yeah.
And then, I was like getting all into the Pokemon box openings and spending a lot of money in that space. And then I was like, the A&R side of me, the entrepreneur side of me is, what is the next Pokemon? What are the next, what's called TCGs, trading card games. So I went and scanned all the different TCG companies, and I actually talked with a few of the CEOs to get like their vision and their identity and what their plan is, roadmap. And then I met with the creator of MetaZoo, and he told me his story of what MetaZoo is all about, which to me was a goldmine IP. And basically the reason why I think it's a goldmine IP is that it's based around cryptids, which are characters and beasties and like fictitious things out there that we created throughout time. So Santa Claus is a cryptid. Bigfoot's a cryptid.
Oh, I get it.
Or like anything that we create, like a UFO is a cryptid. We like create these. Yeah. So basically, it's all familiar, and it's public domain. So like, there's no one. Like, you can make a Bigfoot T-shirt, no one's going to come after you because there's no company that owns Bigfoot.
Wow, it's like public IPs.
Yeah, but you can make an interpretation of that. So we made MetaZoo was, the whole idea of MetaZoo is to create an entire world where all cryptids live from all around the world. So there's tens of thousands of these characters that you can actually, if you create a story, they can exist together, and we can create our own interpretation, and we own the IP of that interpretation. And when we started this, this is wild. So it started as a Kickstarter project with $17,000 invested from Kickstarter, crowdsourced, and launched its first boxes of characters, and that's when I got involved.
Wow.
And 16 months later, we've already grossed over $50 million.
In 16 months?
In 16 months, it's grossed over $50 million in business.
That's fucking amazing.
Based on trading cards. So of course we do collaborations, which is wild, the numbers. Like, we dropped Christmas wrapping paper with MetaZoo logos and sold $1 million of Christmas wrapping paper in 6 hours. We did skate decks we sold upwards of $1 million in 40 minutes with our MetaZoo characters.
Is this the cards that you're always doing on your lives?
Yeah, I do a lot of the MetaZoo, but I'm also a collector of cards. So I have I'm into Marvel, and I'm into,
And
Pokemon, obviously, and sports and stuff like that.
God, I love this. And you have it with Dan, right? And Dan's been on the show.
Yeah.
Dan's been on 3 times.
Yeah. So Dan, our mutual friend.
Yeah. That's
during
Dan
COVID.
Fleischman for everyone. The show's just come out, so you guys would have seen it.
Yeah. So the same time I was, during COVID, I was so into, I'm a collector at heart. So when Dan told me about sports card, how it's a real investment, because I always thought of them as just like, oh, this is cool, it's like in a thing, and it just doesn't have any value. he started explaining the value to me and how it's an actual real alternative investment. And I had the time, and it's a nostalgia thing. So it just hooked me in really good. And then he's like, hey, let's open some shops together. Let's open a shop together, actually just one shop. And I'm like, I'm in. I'm already like starting to buy some cards and started spending some money on some cards. I bought a Mickey Mantle rookie, which was a big deal for me. And I spent some serious money on some cards, and he's like, okay, you're in this heavy, let's open a shop. And then we open up Cards and Coffee and the Coffee Breakers.
Oh my God, I love this.
Together. And so on the sports side, he kind of operates all of that.
Yeah.
On the TCG side, MetaZoo is my baby.
Oh, this is so apt right now for your little surprise. But okay, this is so good. Okay, and can we dive now to the other part of Steve, the side that I know, the side that I guess the world doesn't always get to see, because you're just this like star DJ, right? And you're this like very public figure. But like behind the scenes, you're human. You're a beautiful person. You are close with your family. You're an amazing human. You practice self-development naturally. You know, you love meditation. Is there anything that you do in particular that you think has helped you get to where you are now? Like somebody's listening at home and they're like, I want to be like you. I want to be successful in whatever you're good at. Remember, authenticity is everything. But they're listening. They're like, what did you do? What was that moment?
Well, what I'm learning now is balance, because up until, maybe 2 years ago, since COVID, maybe a year ago, I've been driving in the red for this whole time. I mean, and when I say I'm driving in the red, I'm like pushing myself.
Yeah.
Like doing 200, 300 shows a year. I did 300 shows a year.
That's like
for a few
every
years.
night, apart from
it's like
5 days.
It's like basically I'm flying the other 50 days. So I'm like,
there's 365 days in a year.
Right. So I'm like doing 300, and then I do my all like the other days. But I never cracked below 200 shows a year until COVID.
Yeah.
For 15 years straight. So, I mean, I loved the title that I'm the hardest working DJ. I loved it. I like totally embraced. I like took pride in it.
Yeah.
And when people said that about me, or like, I was like, that's me. You know what I mean? I have the Guinness Book of World Records of the most traveled musician in one calendar year. So it's not just DJs, like all musicians have more miles. So it's like, I love holding that kind of thing, but I realized it's just not sustainable. And because of COVID, when everything stopped, and there's no FOMO, because there's a difference between like being at home and knowing that the world is going without you, and then you just feel like this urge to be like, I gotta go out, versus being at home and everyone's stuck at home. It's like a true, like, for me, that was like, wow, I really, really enjoy it, because before I didn't enjoy it, being at home and like where I couldn't go out. And now since everyone's stuck at home, like, okay, now what should I do with this time? And the driver inside of me is like, okay, I need to like turn every day into a lesson.
Beautiful.
And then I just, then I got really into mindfulness, and then realized that every day doesn't have to be a lesson, Like it's funny how the more you get more into like self-care, it's like you don't have to always drive, and
just be.
Yeah, exactly. So like meditation
present.
is all about being to be instead of to doing, right? So the more I got into that, then now I'm coming out of it, and I'm trying to find this balance, because when the train's going and I'm in the driver's seat, I can't stop myself, but just to keep pushing. But I am seeing a major difference of at least the ethos of how I look at my like pursuit of what I'm doing in my life, the impact that I'm trying to create, all the shows. I've turned down so much, it's crazy. I've never turned down as much as I have. I've turned down like the Emmys to DJ the Emmys. I've turned down the Macy's Day Parade to DJ that thing. These are huge televised television shows. I've turned down 2 movie appearances where I can cameo as myself. I've turned down other things I don't want to say out loud, because I don't want to hurt my friends' feelings that ask me to do stuff. But like really, really like things that like, a younger self 3 years ago would be like flying to do those things. I just like I've learned to say no that I never experienced before COVID. So, and it feels great. And I enjoy just being home and vegging out and playing Call of Duty.
Yes.
Like I don't like need to actually do so much.
Yeah.
I like to be in my cold plunge and just like zoning out in there, getting my sauna, doing like stuff like that where it doesn't have to be all about like, you know, how do I get to the next stage of my life? You know, although I still have that drive. You can't take that away from me.
No, it's just embedded within you. But I think what you're saying is no means yes in so many ways. You saying no as a boundary is you saying yes to yourself and allowing yourself. You've gotten to a point where, like, you know, I've been with you like out and people like run up to you. You're such a known figure in this point in your life that you've already achieved so much and you're doing a really positive impact in the world. And I know that that's something you love. You know, you want to reach more people in a positive way in the way that you do and expand that. But I think, that, you know, saying no, we all have to say no. Like there's so many things that I say no to, which I'm like, why am I saying no to that? But I'm on my road. So I'm like, I still want to say yes. Whereas I feel like you're in that position where it's like, it's okay. You know, you can say no because you're still going to get booked for like the biggest things. And it's a beautiful space to be in.
Yeah, it's like strategic. It's definitely strategic. You know, like I will do certain things because I know in the end, the long game of it, like I'm not saying no to all movie appearances, you know, just, and the ones I did say no to, I love the people. It was just like, I didn't want to do the travel. I didn't want to, like, if it was in LA, I would have just done it. You know? Like certain things like that. Like, it's just convenience for me to just, you know, breathe. Yeah. You know, and like before I would say yes to literally everything. I think I told Tom Bilyeu like this same thing. Like, you know, it's funny because I remember having this conversation with Tom. We have a company together called Neon Future. It's like, well, it's a brand based on my music album. And I was saying, okay, with this project, I'm going to say yes to everything. Like whatever comes our way, I'm doing all of it because we got to build the brand. And I mean, I think I would, like, you know, when you're building a brand, you kind of have to, just like what you're talking about. But yeah, I guess it is like, it's balance and strategy and making sure that you yourself, I guess this holistic part of you is fed in a healthy way. And,
it's so important to keep going. Like if you keep going in the red zone, you risk burnout. You risk, like, I've been through that where I had to take the whole of December off last year. Like I was fucked. I got to like November the 30th and I just like handed everything over to my team. And I was like, they were like, you really need to be here. And I was like, no, you have to take this on. Like I can't, I've burnt myself out. Like if you go so hard, you have to just protect you and your energy every day, right? And I know you believe in energy, like you feel it, you understand. Like when you rub your fingers like this together, your nails, that's the tips of your chi, like it's the end of your energy points. And when you stop doing that, so someone's doing this watching right now, I can't just have nails on, but like if your fingertips can touch, right? Yeah, like that. And you rub loads, keep going with your nails, back and forth. Okay, in a minute, you're gonna start to feel the energy in your fingers if you do it enough.
Really good.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so good. Oh, by the way, Dolly Parton actually wrote a song using her nails like this as a beat underneath with her acrylic nails.
It does have a cool
oh God, you're going to make me go in the studio, aren't you, and record this now?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The other thing I learned as well that I'm like I get more and more excited about as of late is just having more of an accurate reading on my diagnostics of my body and my brain. So I do blood work like once a month now.
Really?
And I do checkups. I'm spending money in certain areas of my life that I think is really important. And I'm a biohacker. So now I can truly be one by like understanding, you know, what supplements I take or what practices I can do to heal my brain that's damaged in certain areas, which I've learned a lot about just
with Dr.
recently.
Armin, right?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, so he did a brain scan and it was just interesting. I never saw my brain like that. I've had an MRI on my brain and I'm obsessed with the brain. So of course, like
My
I've
book's
done
got
MRI
loads
like
of
10 years ago.
neuroscience in it. Like I geek out on this. My book, you've got one of my books. It's like half of it is literally just neuroscience and like research and studies on this. But go on, I want to know more about what you learned with it.
And there's like underneath the brain, there's like these lobes. They're called the temporal lobes. And he says that's associated to emotional trauma.
Wow, it's so good.
And auditory issues. So luckily on all like those,
You're very
the
balanced.
ones, the scary ones, I'm 0.
Oh, okay, good. Really good.
Yes, I'm so happy, so
I'm
grateful
worried
for that
I'd be
brain.
on the deluded one because I would for sure be on. I would be on the deluded one, baby. We'd be like 10.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yep, that sounds about right. I live in a deluded world. I just create my own reality. I live in an imaginative place. I'm just like a child. I wake up every day and I'm like,
It's not delusional though.
Yeah, wow.
That's fun. That's me too. I mean, I live in a playhouse, imaginative environment that's actually right here. My house is immersively imaginative.
I love it.
And I want to be surrounded by that energy anyway. So I might as well create the place I stay at. Anyways, so what I learned from the neurofeedback is, well, first of all, Dr. Amen said that it showed my lobes. They're just mangled up.
Why?
And then
the
he
lobes
said
with the emotional trauma.
Emotional trauma. He said emotional trauma, and then I did neurofeedback, and the 2 areas that have like high biomarkers that are problematic is my memory and my auditory, my hearing. So I have really bad tinnitus from DJing.
Yeah.
Like I can hear ringing right now, and so that covers up a lot of my brain in a way that they're trying. We want to reduce that. And when I was talking to the doctor on that side, they're like those 2 areas are actually in the temporal lobes. So I was like, that makes complete sense.
Yep.
Now with that kind of information, this is what I've learned is that like you need to get diagnostic checks on your brain, on your body, on your blood work, so you can truly know and truly prevent anything that's going to become irreparable. Like things that like are just too late.
Have you seen Gary Brecker? He's been on the show.
Yeah, he's my doctor.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so he's checking my blood work now. He's like my guy.
He does my. Okay, we have to talk about this after. Oh my God, how many mutual friends do we have?
Yeah, we have a lot.
I was coaching, doing a full my MBS, my meditational behavioral synchronicity, which is rooted in neuroscience. I've done it. That one that I sent you. Yeah. But with the breath work at the start, I was with one of our friends the other day, Travis, who also came on the show. I did like a 3-hour session with him of just like breaking through. He was like, "Fuck, you are just like." Helping me so much in so many ways because and the reason I mention this is because of the neuroscience behind it. With everything that you do with your body, when you go and do these exams and you go do these checks, you have to know how to eradicate certain things. And one of the things Gary teaches is breath work. One of the things that we're given to eradicate and go back in time on, like make ourselves younger, go back with something that you're going forwards in. So let's say your mortality, if you were to check it and it said, okay, you're going to actually, this is going to be the thing that hits you out at the end of the day, like, in 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100, whatever it is. And so how do I reverse that? Yeah. How do I literally get rid of it? And so I've realized how powerful breathwork is. So that's when I created my meditation behavioral synchronicity. I realized the power of this exercise that I do, because it helps your immunity in such an amazing way, but it also rewires your brain. So it helps you to go into a state of like self-hypnosis, and you eradicate the neural pathways. You start to go back on the neural pathways and rebuild divots in your brain and strengthen those divots, those neural pathways, which say, I'm healed, like I am better, I am in a different place, and you can heal yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you meditate a lot?
I get out of my practice all the time. I try to make it simple so that way I can just do it quickly. But I'm definitely a habit guy. So if I get out of a habit, I need like group accountability with my friends to get back into like the healthy habits.
Yes.
That's like one thing. That's another hack that I've learned.
Yeah.
That is one thing I could share here is that I think we all get out of the habits that we like, and we know it's good for us, but we're like, oh, we're too busy to do it. It happens to everyone.
Yes.
You know, but like to get back in,
That's good.
I like hit up another friend that's like in the same like rut. We're like, okay, listen, if we like, for example, like, I mean, we're in a library. So I used to read a lot and I stopped reading. So I talked to my friend, we had dinner at this guy I know, and he's like, I used to read all the time too. I'm like, fuck it, let's do a bet. We have to read a book a week, which is not hard. It's 40 pages a day because every book's around like 280 pages.
Yeah.
So if you read 40 pages a day, you can knock out a book.
Yeah.
And you know, just was able to like explain how it's not difficult to do a book a week if you do 40 pages a day.
That is so true.
So then
Have you
you
started
do
it?
then we like made a bet. So like if we every Friday we have to finish a new book. We try to read the same book, and
So
then
you have
we
an
did
accountability partner.
yeah, and then you
That's
like make a
what-
bet, and if you don't do it, you pay, and you have to pay. You can't be bullshitting. You have to pay. So, like over the course of time of doing a group accountability bets, which I've been doing for probably 10 years or maybe 8 years now, with my friends, it's on like carbs, on blah blah blah, workouts, whatever. I think I've lost over $40,000, and I paid because I'm very serious with these bets.
That's
I'll do like, I'll
amazing.
give you an example. So like, I'll do like, at one point I was so obsessed with it, like on summer tours, it's easy to be babysat and you get everything you want. That's why like for DJs and artists, you're literally, anything you want, you can get. Drugs, alcohol, girls, whatever it is, you can get it all. The temptations are plentiful. So in order to be sustainable, you need to like understand what is sustainable, what's not. And the one thing that I was doing, because I was eating everything. So like all my diet regimen is out the window because I'm going to the best restaurants. I'm eating whenever I want, and we have to eat when you can't, right? So I would just lost my discipline, and then was like, okay, in order for me to like get straight, I'm going to do some bets. But I would do the same bet with 20 people.
Wow.
So if I like ate the slice of pizza, I would owe $100 times 20. So it'd be $2,000 for a slice of pizza.
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah. So then once I pay the $2,000 out, okay,
You're just
then
like-
I'm like, fuck that pizza. I just spent $2,000 on a fucking slice of pizza. So like, that's how you learn.
That is how you learn.
But then like they pay you too, because no one's gonna take 20 bets. I'll take them all. I took every single person that wanted to do it. I was like, you want to do it? 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 You want to? And then like it's a trust bet, and I'm fucking like, and I'm like a trusted, like I will tell you, I'll be like, I fucking ate the pizza. Here's $100. Boom, boom, boom,
and you're
boom,
just
boom.
honest, oh my god.
And then I do on top of this, what I do is I do accountability on the accountability.
Oh my god.
That if you don't pay by the end of the month, it doubles.
No, you're like the
It
debt
doubles
collector.
and doubles and doubles.
just
And I'm
went
like,
so
you better
hard.
pay, because I paid. And I am so
Have you
serious.
collected it from them too?
Oh yeah, I collected one guy didn't pay for like 2 months. And I'm like, he's like, what? It's like it's like $50. No, it's two. I'm like, I don't care, man. You should have paid. You have $200. You better pay me that $200. And sometimes I'm like, just buy $200 of Dimluck merch. Or
Yeah.
like donate to this charity. But it better burn from your pocket.
Yes.
Because you need to learn.
Wow.
So-
This is the best way to do something and build a new habit.
Yeah. I need them bets. I need them accountability with the groups that
Yes.
take it seriously. I never do it. Oh, this is another lesson. I never do it with like a girlfriend. Because like I feel bad taking from a girlfriend, right? So although me and my girl at the time during COVID, we're doing this regimen and we're being really consistent with it, and we're really kind of anal about doing it and discipline. Like I would never bet with her. I would always bet with my friends. I'm like, at the end of the day, you just can't do that.
You have to do it with your
You're like,
guys.
all right, give me.
Yeah. You just feel too guilty.
Yeah,
I can't do that. Oh my God. Okay, so when I saw the Netflix documentary on you, I was like, oh my God, there's so many more facets to you I had no idea about. There are things you went through as a kid, like, and it really like touched me, like I think this was like one of the most touching things, like with your dad and stuff. That was like, ugh, like I was really emotional watching it. Do you believe that has shaped who you are today?
There's always the unconscious Rocky Aoki here. my father. He's always there. Like he's like I can't pull him away from me. He's there.
Wow, you can feel his presence.
Always. I mean, I'm always trying to like. It doesn't matter how long he's been gone. He's been gone since 2008, and he's still like. I still have this. This is like the thing I was talking about earlier about holding this record of being the most hardest working artist is proving it to him first.
Hey, my name is Natasha Graziano. I would love to invite you to my book club, which is hosted every week live on Zoom with me and loads of VIP coaches that we bring in every time for you. VIP coaches like John Assaraf from The Secret, Michael Beckwith from The Secret, and some of my A-list stars and Selling Sunset girls that you may know of. I can't wait to get to know you. I can't wait to help you unlock the code to the law of attraction, unlock the code to abundance, unlock the code to what you truly want in your life. You see, it's just literally a switch. Once I learned to turn it on, my life changed dramatically. I went from a girl who had nothing in the bank account, hundreds of thousands in debt. I was a girl who was kind of trapped in her own mind. I guess I thought life was as it was and it would never get any better and money would never come into my life. And then I turned on the code to the law of attraction, understanding the neuroscience behind it, understanding the ancient wisdom behind it, and my life changed dramatically. And here I am now showing you how you too can transform your life. When you come, you'll be around other successful entrepreneurs, other people who are also wanting to better their life. I can't wait to show you how you too can better your life. Come and join us. It's all available inside of the app. Click the link below and I'll see you there.
The way that he raised his kids with this very hard work ethic, like constant. It was work above everything, above family, above love, above health, above everything. You have to be hardworking. And in so doing, he never gave any of his kids any money, but he did give us experiences, you know? He did show off, but he never like showed off by going, okay, you can have this expensive car, you could have this thing. Like we never got any like crazy items. I mean, you imagine someone that rich growing up, you'd be handed down like all the expensive shoes, the cars, a nice bike, this, that, and the other. We just didn't get that. And that was the way he was. He's truly a Japanese, traditional Japanese ethics person. And even when he passed away, there was no estate for us because actually his third wife took it. So all of his kids had to be working on their own. Actually, I made an interesting analogy, and this might sound pretty rough, but I've said this before with like my siblings. I love making analogies, and this is pretty rough. Okay, so I'll just take it with a grain of salt. But we kind of looked at our father like we were like ships sailing across to the other side of the port, so one port to the other port, and we have to build our own ship, and we're sailing, and he's on the other side of the port with a sniper rifle, and he's shooting the boat with holes. And like he's just like we're going like, oh shit, what's the fucking hole? Where'd that come from? And it's him. He's like just like shooting the sails, and we have to patch it up. We have to learn, and literally no lifeline. So if you drown, you're drowned. There's no lifeline. So that's my father. Like he is constantly making it more difficult for us to learn. But I'll tell you, in the early stages of my life, although I would say going that hard is probably hard, too hard. It really, I mean, it is like grilled into my brain, like how much of that kind of ethos that he wanted to grill.
Hardworking.
Yeah. So now I'm balancing that with just quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, which is important. You have to. And I've lived half my life as far as my life expectancy is the average life expectancy of a Western person. So hopefully, I mean, there is that like scientific theory that every year that you grow in life, it's like a quarter of a year that also grows with you because of technology and all that stuff. So it's not really 80, but it's like sad to think I'm 45 this month and I have 40 years left. That's like not right. I feel like I've lived 10%. So I need another 350 years.
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm at 10%.
That's beautiful. Well, maybe you'll be one of the oldest people in the world. I think you can.
Well,
be.
Japanese people that live the Ikigai lifestyle, but live in like a small village with like no money and just like eating fish and rice and spending time with their family and working in the field.
No stress.
They're like 120.
Yes, I know.
But like it's not in Las Vegas, so
yeah, maybe you'd have to move go to the beautiful mountains in Japan and spend time there. Have you been to Japan?
It's my favorite place in the whole world.
You can go from the snow to the hot in a day, right? It's like you can do 3 seasons or something in a day. There. I've not been, I just heard about it.
Oh my God. First of all, Tokyo is the most explorative city you can imagine for a tourist, from the technology and the sightseeing, to the food, the clothes, the people, there's like all the different boxes you tick on being a tourist. You experience it at the highest level. It's just because Japan is a country of craftsmanship.
Yes.
So like they have this incredible tradition where families teach families the same craft for generations. So the person that makes this metal, like the metal worker in Japan, that grandfather taught his son, and the son taught his son, or a daughter taught his daughter, and they're the best, like hands down around the world. The best pizza is in Japan.
Really?
It's just crazy to say. I swear to God,
well,
the
no,
best
I believe
pizza.
you because you do Europe every summer, so I know that you've been to Italy.
It's not actually from me. It's from like the world renowned.
Really?
The world recognizes.
Just the dough?
The pizza, I don't know, whatever there is.
Yeah.
The Pizza Union, whatever, has declared Japan is the best pizza in the world.
Oh my God, I fucking love this.
So
okay,
weird stuff like that happens in Japan because they're just like molecular. They go down to the detail with like, all the crafting that they do. Like it's just incredible. So then you go in these hole in the wall restaurants, these like sushi spots, the pizza shops, the clothes, the whatever, and you're going to experience something like with such detail, with such care. So that in itself is one of my favorite parts of being proud to say that I'm Japanese, although I'm very much Western. So when I go there, I'm just like, I have this kind of guilt. I'm like, I wish I could have like learned by underneath the Japanese like craftsmanship needle,
Yeah. Wow. Very well, I grew up with, I was telling you, you know this, my family friend, she's Japanese. God bless her, I love her so much. And she was like a sister to us. I grew up with her and her mom, and like it was, she might be listening now, Yoshi. And it was just so nice. And I would like listen to the Japanese and be like, what's she saying? Like I just always wanted to know. So it was like, like I just feel like an affinity to Japanese people, I think. It's beautiful. Okay, wait, I want to give you something. So your birthday's coming up on November 30th.
Yeah.
Probably when this show, like you guys are listening now while it's out. And so this is for your birthday, and if I give it to you on a show. Okay, you can open it.
Wow.
As you open it, I'll talk.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm doing this on the fucking show. I don't know if I might cut this part.
Wow, that looks like some colorful.
You have to open all of it. We protected it in plastic. There's 2 things. There's more.
Oh my, this is amazing. Can I open this right now?
Yes. So this was made by an artist in New York for you. He hand painted it 2 months ago. It took him like 4 weeks to make.
Oh my God, this is amazing. This is so cool.
There's more though.
Oh my God. You got MetaZoo in the back.
Yeah.
You got Pikachu on the front. Oh, this is awesome.
Pikachu.
So who's the artist?
Well, I know you're gonna want to know after this. Yeah, no, he did some pieces for me like 3 years ago in London. And then when I started seeing how you dress, I was like, oh my God, I have to get my friend made this stuff.
Oh my God, this is so dope. You got Hero Quest on here. You got the hero.
Do you like it?
I love it.
And we got your size from Dougie's. So like, I hope we got it all right.
No, I love this. This is amazing. This is so cool. I might rock this tonight.
It's dope, yeah.
I might rock this tonight in my show. This is right up my alley. This is so cool.
And it's got like words on it, like do it yourself, and
I
like
love that.
loads of like secret words in there. Peace.
Yeah.
There's like other things I like had written in, tranquility.
Yeah, this is really cool. That's
Yeah.
that's what you like. I know you. That's your input right there. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, no, I genuinely like designed so much of it. I just told him, like he said,
Oh, like he.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like the stitching too.
Yeah, there's
It's
so
like
many
all
cool
like the
things.
stitching going on.
Hopefully it fits.
This
You
is
guys might have to
amazing.
see.
No, I'm gonna definitely rock this. I'm gonna rock this. You can see pictures.
Yay. So cute.
You could probably like I'll rock it, and then you could clip it in your video.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
rock
my
it.
God, totally on
Yeah.
stage. We'll just
Yeah.
send me the clip. We'll
I'll
add it in.
definitely rock this. This is so good. This is amazing.
So cool.
This is very cool.
Okay, so question for you now: what is your superpower? What is Steve's superpower? You have many. You have things which I feel like are just, you're amazing at a lot of things. But what's your superpower?
What I've been doing consistently for this life of mine is I love bringing happiness to people through music. So that's what I do at my shows. Like if I have like a successful show to me is when I see like the crowd emerge new from the experience. Like that, like they're a different version of themselves after they leave. I love watching the evolution of a crowd change before I get on stage and after.
And
It's
what do you see?
Okay, so just recently I played this Amazon appreciation show, I guess, like for the workers of Amazon. So I did a show at an Amazon fulfillment center. Where they box all the goods.
So some massive.
It's like a warehouse, but it was like the entire crowd was just the workers, and I didn't know what to expect, honestly. Like I didn't know what I was like. They just tell me, "You're playing a show." I'm like, "Cool, I'm playing a show." And then all of a sudden we show up to the Amazon fulfillment center, and I walk in, and everyone's wearing like the protective kind of vests on and everything, and they definitely look like a little bit confused, but they're like, okay, we kind of have to be here because it's better than working, kind of thing. Like, I think most of them had no idea who I was.
That's random because everywhere, like basically anywhere you go, you're like.
Well, maybe I also like to put that in my head. I prefer to put that in my head that no one knows who I am. Really? Yeah, because you work for it.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay, go on.
So I go in there and I'm playing, and there's definitely some people that know me. Okay, I'm not gonna I'm gonna be realistic. So there's a few people that know me. Okay, but there's a lot of people that are just kind of there and just like curious. And I did like ask the crowd, and then there's like a live stream function with other Amazon fulfillment centers, possibly, I think, around the world. So, because it was an Amazon thing, okay, for all the Amazon workers. And I was like, I'm just curious, all the people in front of me, how many people have seen my show before? And, there's a few, there's a few of them,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, now I know. Now I have a good, like, knowledge base of
like,
who's out there. And I saw the evolution, like, change every 15 minutes. I did an hour set. Every 15 minutes, I was watching the crowd, and they're like, kind of like, okay, I'm gonna check out this guy. I've heard his name, probably seen the billboard, and seen his face on the casino thing, but I don't listen to his music. This is like I would say is a good general sense of the crowd, and then like 15 minutes goes by, they get more engaged. I'm like, there's like some of them start jumping, and then 15 minutes goes by, like. Now, like the people that are in it, they're like at a festival, and then there's other people that are like not talking to their friends anymore, and they're watching me, and then the last 45 minutes to an hour, I have everyone. I have everyone with me, and they're all like, not all of them are like extremely joyous, but they're like there with me, and they're all like I got all their attention, and then after. I'm like, there's definitely been, like this like feeling of like change that I actually added. Yeah, so I just like, I mean, my ability is I'm consistent. I think that's one of my superpowers is that when I love something, I'm very consistent with it. Yes. And I wouldn't say it like that my superpower is that I'm bring happiness to people. I think my superpower is that I'm consistent at doing what I love to do, and that I love bringing happiness to people. So that's the goal. And sometimes it doesn't happen, I'm sure, but like that's my goal.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah, so I want to do it, and I have this drive to do that, and I love doing it, and it brings me so much joy when I see people just like want to rip their shirt off in this moment, or like they're smiling, they're laughing, they're jumping, they're with their friends, they're having a great time. And I love the transformation of someone that's just like uninterested to like they're like hands are in the air.
Wow.
I'm like, yes, I got you. I got you.
I won. Ka-ching.
I got you.
I
Who's
love
next?
That.
Who's next?
Oh, that's so
Who's
beautiful.
Next? So I always like to follow the crowd, and I'm like, okay, I got this crowd with me. They're riding with me.
Yes.
There's some people over here that aren't riding with me. How do I get them?
Yes.
And then I'm gonna,
You know what? This is really similar to what I do, because when I speak on stage, and like I'm a little girl with a massive voice. So if you see me speak on stage.
No.
Oh my God, you have to come on.
I've seen your Instagram.
Yeah, okay. So like, but live is like, I get nicknamed the female Tony Robbins. Like I fucking scream down an arena. Like people are like, whoa, they walking out the room. I see people like, literally, they're like checking out, moving out. They hear this little girl on stage. They're like, what? And I see them. That's my aim. It's just the people who are going to the loo, going on their phone, going to call their wives. And it's always the men. And I'm like, I know that they see a woman on stage and they're just going to check out immediately just because it's a woman. And then I love watching them turn at the back and come back in. And then I'm like, ooh. And then you get these like, if I speak at like corporate events, and it's really formal, and you go on stage, and I'm usually like, you expect to roar when you come in. You're like, what's up? What? And you get like your response. These guys, what's up? They're like, hey. You're like, oh my God, there's 2,000 people and I can't hear anything. It's like dead. So like my aim is to make them feel joy. So it's really funny. We have like the same goal through two completely different devices, but it's still, I guess, the voice and the instrument of like, wow, that's so interesting. I think the reason that we're here on planet Earth is to unlock our gift, is to unlock our true purpose, and that is to help others, to benefit the lives of others, to contribute to humanity, to make this world a better place. And so many people don't know what their gift is. They don't even find it. They don't bother looking into it. But ultimately, it's to bring joy to others in anything that we do, and to better somebody's life, to add value to somebody's life. So if you create the books, if you're an artist, if you're you make candles, if you are a nail person, if you're whatever it is you do, like you're making somebody else happy. And as long as you're doing things that is bringing joy to other people, that's your purpose. That's a beautiful thing. What are you passionate about right now?
About my REM sleep, how poor it is. Very passionate about increasing that. That's
I love that.
Going back to diagnostic checks, like I sleep well, but my REM is like piss poor.
How do you get your REM better?
I'm trying everything. Actually, I'm talking to to me, he's like the king of sleep.
Who?
Matt Walker. He did a master class on sleep. He has a book called Why We Sleep.
Oh, wow.
So he's also a scientific advisor to Oura Ring. So he has my data. We talk quite often. He's become a good friend.
What does he suggest?
Sometimes the things that he's suggesting works, and sometimes, and it's not on him. It's just like, I think my brain is just different. I don't know.
Well,
I've always had piss poor REM.
But I think the reason that so many people, and I mentor a lot of artists, I mentor a lot of people who are in the sort of show business, they're up and it's so loud all the time. It's go, go, go. And they just find it so hard to switch off. I even used to be like that. I don't want to go to sleep sometimes because I love my life so much. But then I recognize the power of sleep. So now I have an evening ritual. So no matter what time you go to bed, if you're performing late, you have to find an evening ritual that starts annoyingly late, but it's something that you do earlier on the other days. And it starts with no blue light and like dimming the light. It's like in my house, I only have candlelight after the sun goes down. So in the summer, it starts at 10 or whatever. But in the winter, it's like 4 or 5 p.m. candlelight. Like I won't have lights on. My son has actually learned, like in the night when he goes to the bathroom, he knows we have like a crystal in the bathroom.
He just stumbles off. Yes, he is like, Mom, it's too doggy every night. I can't see anything.
He's just learned. He's like,
hold this candle. Look, please stop using lights. We're going back to medieval times. Take this candle. This candle's not working, Mom.
It's like a medieval house. I'm so traditional as well.
Oh, that's so good.
But yeah, I have a crystal for him because it got so bad. But he's so respectful for me. He goes, when I'm in bed and I'm sleeping, in the morning, if it's like the light, he's gonna put it on. He's like, Mommy, I'm gonna close the door because I'm gonna put the light on. And then he goes on with the light.
Oh, what a sweet boy.
And then he puts his EDM on.
You know what I realized? It's like, whenever I have a kid, the most important thing that I want them to just be nice and kind.
Yes.
like what a kind kid. Like, oh, Mom, it's like, that's like the best thing that you could want your kid to become, right? Because like intelligent and like, getting this, getting that in life, success, whatever, that's like all like the bonuses, but you just want them to be a good person.
Yes, you do. That is literally all I want for him. My mum's so pushy with him. She's like, I want him to go to an academic school. She told me the other day, if you send him to this holistic school where they learn with twigs, I will disown you. I was like, Mom, oh my gosh, she's like so traditional. Yeah. And I was like, no, like I want to be able to, but I want my son, exactly like you say, to just have good manners, be kind and loving. And he's so respectful to me. I call him Mummy's boy. And he's now like, because he's 6, maybe this is the age where it begins. So we're in public and I'm like, Mummy's boy, across the park. And he's like, runs up to me, Mommy, shh. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, don't call me that in public anymore. I'm like, what do you mean in public? Nobody knows who you are, babes. Like, I'm like, stop worrying. It's just so funny. Anyway, so yeah, the medieval household with you're like, I really want to see this, like dripping candles everywhere. Have you seen Game of Thrones?
Yeah, of course.
It's that vibe. It's like the like candles and like, oh my, I love all of that stuff. Like it's so, I find it really calming. Yeah. Because they say if you at night are looking at bright lights, that will literally, every hour you're on your phone is an extra hour of lack of sleep or not going into a deep sleep. Yeah. Sleep is such a really fascinating topic. I mean, it's amazing. But so if you have lights in your home which replicate fire, which goes back to, when we were hunter-gatherers, if you replicate fire in your home in like crystals or colors of lights, so really dim the lights and you have like reds and yellows and oranges, that helps you to get into the sleep state ready for when you have a deeper sleep. I'm gonna get you a crystal now. Yeah, I'm gonna show you this thing because this is like, you'll be like, oh my God. I've had so much fun with you today. This has been amazing. I think we should do part 2. We should do a 2023 episode in like part 2 and just like another catch up and like see where you're at. Okay, well, thank you so much for being an amazing guest. This has been so much fun.
Birthday present. That's really nice.
You're welcome.
Really, really happy. I'm gonna be rocking it proudly on stage for sure.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm wearing my trainers, which you chose for me.
Yeah,
so
they're great.
I fucking love it. Yeah, I've had so many compliments. Like everywhere I go, people are like, oh my God, are they hand painted? I'm like, yeah, I love them. Okay, so we'll have you back and do a part 2. But guys, if you've enjoyed today's show, thank you so much for tuning in. Share it with a friend. If there's somebody you think is gonna benefit from this today, if there's something in there that oh my God, they are gonna love this. The perfect time to listen right now whilst you have this moment to yourself. Go and share it with the world. That's how you grow. That's how you give. When you give, you receive. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again next week. My name is Natasha Graciano. This is the Law of Attraction podcast hosted by Success Magazine. Ciao.